Of all the Incarnon weapons, Cestra has to be some of the most slap-on Incarnon that I have ever seen. Barely anyone talk about the true power of this Incarnon and how genuinely overpowered it really was. When you hover over Cestra while you are picking this week's Incarnon Genesis, you would not assume much from Cestra at all. Until you actually get it. On paper, Cestra Incarnon is not that good looking because it was entirely based on a weapon that has pretty poor stats all around. And without a clear insight of its Incarnon stats and its unappealing Incarnon perk, it is very apparent why nobody picks this weapon. Like, why do you want to take a risk? What really defines Cestra is with its base stats on Incarnon mode. A staggering 50% crit chance, 3 times crit damage, and a status chance of 18% and a fire rate of 6.67. On transformation, the gun itself actually doesn't change much. You still get to keep the bullet holes nature of the gun, but you gain 4% border crit chance for each consecutive shot, reaching its max at 50 shots, aka 200% crit chance. By modding a crit chance mod, this allows you to hit a crit chance of 243.5% before touching a river mod, and this is just the beginning. Second evolution provides you 2 choices, Steadfast Grid and Fortress Salvo. Both provide the same plus 10 base damage increase to Cestra, raising the value to 60. Fortress Salvo is just as advertised. You gain 80% multi-shot when you have armor over 450, which is an increase that you should not scoff at, but simply pale in comparison to the holy disaster that is Steadfast Grid. On paper, this perk doesn't seem that crazy, just a brief period of time where you gain a crit damage buff when your overguard or shield breaks, and judging by how the buff works, it's gonna be additive to mods anyway, it's multiplicative. Apply after the total crit damage. Although it is limited to set few frames, this is actually just one of the reasons why Cestra Incarnon is truly the most insane weapon. As for its third evolution, the choices are pretty much personal as they are all QOL increases. Pick whatever you like the most, but I much prefer the reload speed increase for Incarnon form transition. As for the final evolution, all 3 of them are pretty good, though the weakest one between the 3 is actually the plus crit chance evolution. It speaks volumes when the crit chance increase is actually the weakest increase for a weapon that has insanely high base crit, because the next one on the list is Death Trap Trigger, raising its crit damage from 3 times to 5 times. The last weapon that has a 5 times crit damage is Nucor, with a base crit chance of 7%. I repeat, 7%. Cestra Incarnon has a crit chance of 50% and can go as high as 243.5 when fully stacked. Just look how easy I shred this Draca Manic Bomb bugs without any warframe buffs involved or even DOTs. Like, there is no way you are giving a weapon that has insane crit chance also a way to have insane base crit damage. This leaves only the Wiseman's Regard, a perk where you can gain base status chance with how much crit chance you currently have. Oh, not this kind of perk again. Perks like such are generally not great to play around, as they tend to want you to full focus on them in order to get the most out of it. Just have a crit chance mod and you have the full 40% value, bro. It is that easy. You are telling me that a weapon that is unreal at both crit and status stats is going to not break the game in any way? We can't be serious, bro. Like, Cestra Incarnon is just disgusting. There is no other way to put it. You can make it either paint the whole world red, or make Nucor cry at a corner, or being insane at both crit and status instead. The choice is yours. Oh, and the Riven disposition is 1.52, third highest of any secondaries. By the way, you want some builds? So, builds and showcase. The guy a few seconds ago said that you want some of it. Anyways, there will be a build for each final evolution. Do please keep this in mind. Before I start, Arcane Velocity will be utilized on Rhino, but no warframe buffs will be used to keep this strictly weapon only. If you crave that exclamation mark all over your screen, you could take Survivor's Edge and opt for this crit maxing setup that all in on crit chance, even with Cascadia Overcharge. Though no pistol accuracy because it makes the roll a bit orange at times. Is the build the best? Nah, far from it. What is great about this exact build is that you can make red crits like you just have Rifle Advance active on a melee weapon, but definitely not the best build for one to have. You can still try it out if you are feeling a whole lot of reds today. The second build on the list is you taking Death Trap trigger instead, and then a standard Pure Blast build to make it clear better, and take Deadhead instead of Cascadia Overcharge. It is honestly just the same as the last showcase, although pack a much stronger punch despite having lesser reds, as the huge increase in base crit chance is too much for the crit chance perk to make up. Anyways. The next one on the list is with Wiseman's Regard. Just like the last two, there's honestly nothing much for me to add, so here's the showcase. Is it all going to be just survival? That's kind of boring. Of course not. There is more. This is an accuracy setup, specifically for disruption. I will be using a melee to wave clear. Pick whatever you feel like. The setup is basically you clearing some enemies with your melee, and when the time comes, just point your weapon at the Demolist. So that's Cestra Incarnon for you. Is it the most OP weapon in this game? Potentially. Is it the best weapon for wave clearing? Probably not, because it is still a bullet hose at the end of the day. If you want to pick up Cestra Incarnon, this is the best chance you could ever do so before you had to wait another 2 months. But if this still doesn't entice you, it's fine. Anyways, that's all for today's video. See you all next time. Goodbye.